Your mind's gone blank. You've no idea what to say. This is awful, but stay calm. Speak about the photo questions don't have to be this difficult, even if you've totally run out of ideas. Today I'll share all of my top tips to help you out when you don't know what to say in Speak About the Photo. So let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Here on this channel, we help you pass the DET first time with a really high score. So before we get started with the top tips for Speak About the Photo, let's do a quick review of what this question type is all about. So as you can imagine, you have to speak about the photo. You'll get a photo, you'll have 20 seconds to look at it, and then you have to speak for up to 90 seconds. Now it is possible to speak for less than 90 seconds, but the more you can speak, the longer you can go, the better chance you have of getting a higher score. So we really need you to speak for at least 75, 80, 85 seconds. Now, if you've seen my full video about the introduction to Speak About the Photo, you'll know that I recommend this structure. So we should first of all think, what is going on in the photo? Who is doing what? Where is the action happening? When are they doing the action? And why are they doing the action? Now, usually, if you've got a structure like that, you'll be able to fill those 90 seconds. But if you're still struggling, let's look at some other ways that you can make sure you never run out of things to say. Tip 1 is to use your study time wisely. So that's the 20 seconds at the start. And a lot of students tell us that they feel so nervous at this part that they don't even really look properly at the photo. So that's the first thing to do. Really look carefully at the photo that you're given. And you can even make mental notes about those different topics to talk about that we just mentioned. And think, what would you say for each of them? And actually, we're going to do a little bit of practice of that now. So I'm going to show you the photo again for 20 seconds, and I'll give you those 5 bullet points. And I want you to just make a mental note of a few words that are answering each of those points. And that will be your plan for when you actually speak. Okay? So have a try for 20 seconds now. Okay, so let's just quickly review what you could have said. So for what, it would be a woman eating a burrito. For who, you could say she's about 30, she has dark skin, dark hair, and she looks quite casual. Where could be a restaurant or a cafeteria. When would be maybe in the afternoon, if we look at the type of sunlight. And then the why, like why is she there eating a burrito? Maybe she's hungry, or she's with friends, or maybe she's alone and she's eating quite quickly. So already we've got a lot of different things that we can mention. We've got a good structure to our answer. But tip 2 is to use stalling expressions. So if you've got a great word that you wanted to use, but you've forgotten it, or you can't remember what the next point is that you want to talk about, you'll need to use a stalling expression. To stall means to buy time, to fill the space while your mind thinks, what was I talking? Ah, yes, that was what it was. So it's like a little waiting filler kind of sentence. And we've got a few that we can use. So either at the start or maybe in the middle, you could say this very long sentence, but it's very useful. This is certainly an image that's caught my attention, and there's clearly plenty to say. Or you could say, let me just think for a moment. And you don't have to be thinking. It's just some words in English to fill the space. Or you could say, now, what was I going to say? Yes, that's right. And you remember what it was. So if you learn these 3 phrases, they'll be really useful just if you have those moments like we all have where your mind goes blank. Of course, you shouldn't overuse these. Don't go into the test with a plan to use your expressions, but they're a good backup in case, you really need to use them when you don't have anything to say. Now, tip 3 is to look for hidden details. So, of course, you'll be able to see the main details of the photo, like the main person at the front of the photo and what they're doing. But if you've finished talking about those details and you've still got lots of time, we can look for the less obvious details to extend our answer. So for example, in our photo that we're working on, the big idea is it's a woman eating a burrito. So just take another look at that photo for 20 seconds and see if there are any extra details, any little hidden things that you might be able to talk about. Okay? Have a try now. Okay, so there's many possible answers here, but a few of the things that you could have talked about, you could have said that there are plants in the background, so maybe she's like, either she's outside or she's in the outside part of a restaurant, and she's lightly dressed, she doesn't have a big coat on, so we can make a guess about what the weather's like, what time of year it is, and there's a bottle of sauce on the table, so we could talk a little bit about maybe what kind of sauce it could be. And that would be a good opportunity for you to throw in some little bits of vocabulary about food, the different sauces that you know. Tip 4 is to talk about your own experience. Now, there's an important thing to say here, which is that you must stay on topic. Your answer must be relevant, because if your answer starts to drift away from the topic, you start to lose points. But as long as you can stay on topic, focused on answering the question, if you need some extra things to say, you can start to bring in your own experience that's in some way similar. For example, you could say, "This reminds me of a time when," and you say some similar experience that you had, or "Looking at this photo puts me in mind of," or "It's very similar to a something I remember from somewhere or sometime." So I'm going to give you 1 minute to have a little try at this. So I'm going to show you the photo again, and I want you to try to make sentences, actually speaking with each of those 3. Okay? So see if you can bring in your own experience to help you continue talking about this photo. Have a try now. Okay, so there you go. By the way, if you want to write those sentences in the comments for me to see, then I'd be very interested to have a look at them. Here are some of the ones that I came up with. So we could say, "This reminds me of a time when I visited Mexico. They served us lovely fresh burritos in a little plastic bowl, just like that." Or we could say, "Looking at this photo puts me in mind of a restaurant in my hometown I love to visit, as they both have that fresh, colourful kind of vibe." Or you could say, "It's very similar to a meal I remember from a holiday I once went on. That was also a kind of wrap with meat and veggies inside." So as you can see, each of the points is really very closely connected to what we can see in the photo. But it's a good extra way to keep talking and reach that 90-second mark. Finally then, tip 5 is to say you don't know. I'm so sorry, I don't know. Is that what I mean? definitely not. What I mean is that sometimes certain parts of the photo won't be clear. Like, you might not know what time of day it is. Maybe it's early, maybe it's late. You might not know the location. You might not know exactly what some of the people in the photo are actually doing. And this is actually something good for us, because the fact that we don't know these things gives us extra ideas to talk about. So let's take a look at 3 examples that we could use. We could say, we can't see the whole table, so it's not clear whether the woman is alone or in company. Or we could say, it's difficult to say whether the photo was taken in Mexico or just in a Mexican restaurant. Or, I'm not quite sure what the burrito is filled with. I know that both meat and vegetarian options are possible. So those are the 5 tips. Now, I think the best thing for us to do is to put those tips into practice. So we're going to do a full practice question. I'm going to show you a new photo on screen, because I've already given you too many tips about the lady eating the burrito. I want you to study it for 20 seconds and try to speak as much as you can for those 90 seconds, okay? Good luck. I'll see you on the other side with one possible answer, but first, it's your turn. Have a try now. Okay, so welcome back. How was that? I hope it wasn't too intense. Remember, you can come back and practice using those timers if you want. Now let's have a listen to a possible answer to that question. And this answer would get around 125, 130, that kind of level. Let's have a listen. This is certainly an image that's caught my attention, and there's clearly plenty to say. It shows a woman holding a cat. The cat looks pretty small, so I think it might be a kitten. They both look very calm and comfortable. It's difficult to say where exactly the picture might have been taken, but they're outside, and the quality of the light puts me in mind of a country like Sweden, which I visited last year. It could be either sunrise or sunset, and it looks like there's a light breeze blowing over the subjects. What was I going to say? All in all, the photo captures a sense of warmth and affection. In fact, I've just noticed how young the woman looks. It may be the first time she's had a pet of her own, which would explain why she's feeling so contented. Okay, so there we go. Those are some really useful ideas so that next time your mind goes blank in Speak About the Photo, or in many other situations, you'll have something extra to say. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, because we have new DET videos coming out every week. Also, make sure to check under the video, because we have all of our playlists for the different question types in DET with all of those vocabulary videos and practice videos and all kinds of different things. So check those out. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck in your DET. I'll see you next time.